From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darrell W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Friday, January 23rd, 2015. Silver is trading at $18.30 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,297 per ounce. And according to BitcoinAverage.com, the average price of Bitcoin is $234. Antiwar.com reports after failing to reach a deal on reforms to the draft constitution that would satisfy the Houthi rebels, Yemeni President Abd Rabbu Mansour Hadi, his cabinet, and Prime Minister Khalid Baha have all abruptly resigned, leaving the situation totally up in the air. Hadi said the talks had reached a dead end and claimed the rebels pressured him for his resignation after that. The resignation is still contingent on Parliament accepting it. Hadi was elected in 2012 in a U.S. and UN-backed vote in which no one else was allowed to run, and no votes were similarly rejected. The U.S. at the time presented it as a model for democracy in the region. Where this leaves Yemen is anyone's guess, but the Houthis maintain de facto control over the capital city and continue to fight against al-Qaeda in the south. The Houthi secessionist aspirations are likely mooted by their control over such a large portion of the country, but secessionist ambitions in the south, centered around Aden, are likely to be renewed amid the power vacuum. The Hadi government and its predecessor had been violently cracking down on pro-secession protesters in Aden for years. For over 35 years, Robertson Roberts has been a trusted source for buying and selling your investment-grade precious metals. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and permanently removed the minimum purchase order for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Robertson Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on investing and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 850-478-5270 or online at rrbi.co. Wired reports as the trial of Ross Ulbricht unfolds, the transcript has read like a manual of things not to do when running a secret billion-dollar online drug conspiracy. But on Thursday, the jury heard about the most human of all human errors Ulbricht had made, confessing his creation to an in-real-life friend. In a Manhattan courtroom on Thursday, Austin, Texas-based eBay software engineer Richard Bates took the stand to testify against Ulbricht, his college friend and one-time programming partner. From late 2010 until at least 2011, Bates says he gave Ulbricht coding advice on a project Ulbricht described as top secret. And when Bates ultimately refused to offer any more assistance unless Ulbricht shared the details of the project, he says that Ulbricht showed him the Silk Road for the first time on a laptop in Bates's home. Bates said that by November of 2011, Ulbricht would tell him he had sold the Silk Road and was no longer involved. In cross-examination by Ulbricht's defense, Ulbricht's attorney Joshua Draytell emphasized to the jury that Bates had agreed to testify against Ulbricht to avoid facing his own legal consequences. Bates admitted, "I knew I could go to prison for a very long time." Draytell said, "You chose to be here on the witness stand rather than there as a defendant," pointing to Ulbricht. At that point, the prosecution objected and the judge sustained the objection. Bates did not answer the question. You can support FPP Radio by shopping online. Whether you're looking for precious metals or books, you'll find that and more at shop.fppradio.com. Every purchase you make from one of my affiliates at shop.fppradio.com helps fund FPP Radio. That's shop.fppradio.com. The Guardian reports in a rebuke to a legion of online supporters and what the journalist and one-time member of Anonymous called a dangerous precedent, Barrett Brown was sentenced to 63 months in prison by a federal judge in Dallas on Thursday. Brown's backers from across the web had hoped he would be able to walk free after his 31 months of time served for what they insist was merely linking to hacked material. But the 33-year-old Brown, who was once considered something of a spokesman for the Anonymous movement, will face more than twice that sentence. The judge also ordered him to pay more than $890,000 in restitution and fines. In a statement released after his sentencing, Brown was sarcastically upbeat, writing, "Good news. The U.S. government decided today that because I did such a good job investigating the cyber-industrial complex, they're now going to send me to investigate the prison-industrial complex." At one point, Brown was facing a possible combined sentence of over 100 years. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.